Testing, testing. I'm gonna test this out. Okay. I'm gonna take that as you guys can hear me. All right. Welcome to the very first ever episode of Juana TV. I'm hella hype right now. If you guys are not familiar with the brand, Juana is a digital zine that explores community through culture and cannabis. We premiered to the world September 23rd, 2018. And our first volume, which consists of 3 issues, has over 10,000 reads and counting. To date, our blog averages 200 unique visitors per day. And having started this as something just as a passion project on the side that became so receptive to people, I quickly realized a lot of people love conversation about cannabis. So I was like, okay, let's go with this. And now we're here. Yay. So you could check out volume one on my official site. We'll drop it in the chat if you have not seen it yet. Um, but no, I know some amazing people. I've been in some interesting spaces. I've been a part of some amazing conversations, and I like cannabis. And with the growing acceptance of it and more states legalizing recreational use, I've been able to use my love for cannabis and my love for writing to create things in spaces that I love. Excuse me, y'all. But these things have been well received and it's opened doors for myself and others, which has given me a really strong sense of community and purpose. And it's all still a journey that I am enjoying being on. But what I found with the cannabis industry, and really with everything these days, there's a lot of unprogramming that needs to be done as far as how people view the plant and more education and conversations about it as a healing agent when used properly, and definitely more conversation and education about it being an economic stimulant when it comes to marginalized people affected by the war on drugs and so on. But cannabis scholars and enthusiasts alike agree that the first step in righting these wrongs and educating people is simply destigmatizing. And that's something that we've been able to do with our platform. And I want to continue doing that. But beyond that, I want to know how I can contribute to my community in that way and in other ways through this platform. So let's get into it. Woo! I'm going to take a sip of water, y'all. I like talking, but I usually don't just be talking this much and nervous. So hold on. Okay. Welcome to my show. So today's recording is sponsored by Inspired by Boutique. It's an online women's boutique that literally inspired my outfit today. I want to mess nothing up. I don't know if y'all can see me, but okay, yes. I got cute for you guys because we've been in quarantine. I haven't been really dressing up, but I tried a little bit today. But inspired my outfit. I'm a minimalist, so a tee is like always really easy for me to do, throw on. And I like them because their styles are carefully curated for the woman who is timeless, stylish, and chic. And she is me, I am she, and I'm an inspired by. And by the way, all the sponsors are tagged in our social posts and also featured in our newsletter, which I know a lot of people that are here actually subscribed from the newsletter. So if you love my shirt, check out Inspired by. Also, the Hair Experience by Urbane Boozer, my favorite healthy hair destination. My edges are already a little thin, you guys, and I don't need them being snatched even more. So, when my natural hair needs to be braided or styled, I'm at the Hair Experience. And last but certainly not least, JP Marie Studio, helping us bring our stories to life in this digital space. That is a very big part of why we're here and how we're able to be here today. So, shout out to JP Marie Studio. Thank you to all of the official sponsors, but also thanks to everybody who made this possible with your words of encouragement inspiration, big or small. The list goes on. And even more special shout out to everyone that's here. I know we capped it really fast because this was kind of a. I had this idea, okay, you guys, to do a podcast so long ago. Me and Erica are going to get into it. You already know, but I wanted to do it still intimate and do live stream it, but I was going to do it at a studio. And the times just never worked out. And then the COVID cases started going back up, and we're here, and I'm thankful. And please ask us questions. I really hope the point of a live virtual audience resonated with everyone. um I, like I said, I wanted it to be interactive. I want you guys to like ask us questions as we're talking. And it's still going to come out like in a series with other shows, but I wanted the actual recording, something to be special about it. And it means a lot that you guys are here. So thank you. Um, but yeah, ask us questions as we're talking. So take another sip of water, you guys. All right, you guys. My very first ever guest is none other than Erica Love Jones. Hi, Erica.
First
Okay.
off, I am so glad we're finally doing this. We've been talking about this for months, so I am so excited about this. I'm here.
Yay, and I'm so happy that you are here. For those of you who do not know, Erica is a multifaceted creative visionary. She's a photographer, she's a woman in tech. She's now making these bomb ass smoothies. And I'm like, let's just get right into the smoothies, okay? I had the smoothie, love the smoothie. 10 out of 10, recommend the smoothie. And I know we can't get super into consumption due to the nature of your job, but I have to ask, are you going to add a cannabis option to your menu for the girls? The
I really
girls want to
want to.
know, the girls want cannabis smoothies.
I really want to because my smoothies are really based on, being healthy. I want to incorporate herbs in my smoothies like lavender, chamomile, all type of things, green tea, all of that. I really just want healthy smoothies. So honestly, first on my list is CBD, or some type of edible. I was thinking like an edible honey. A lot of my smoothies are pretty vegan though, so I haven't really figured out how I'm going to like incorporate that. But I really think to be able to relax people while they're consuming my smoothies is like that's my goal. And I don't know a lot of like weed smoothies out there. Like that's not a thing unless you're in LA, but it's not a thing. So I'm definitely gonna do that. And then if not that, I've been thinking about doing like a fun smoothie with like, alcohol, vodka and all that. But I really want them to be like health focused, first and foremost. And from then on, I can add different things. So I don't know. I'm hoping I get some edible honey to put on it. So it's a good question.
The edible honey is always a really good idea. I know a place that you can get some honey, girl.
Would you think of
But
a smoothie?
no, but I like the idea how you said like of it relaxing people, because I
Yeah.
know like for me, I started making smoothies to like make sure I could get in all of like these nutrients. So like I put sea moss in mine. Sometimes I'll put oil of oregano and like just all these other things, like just trying to be as healthy as I can be. And I know CBD, depending on what your ailment is, it can kind of take the edge off. So like sometimes I get really anxious. Like right now, I probably could use a CBD smoothie, girl, because
Me
I'm a little
too.
anxious.
Me
But if I
too.
know if I had CBD, it like, and again, we're here to destigmatize. So for those of you who don't know, CBD, it's the non-psychoactive cannabis plant basically. It still has all the benefits, it just doesn't give you like that psychoactive high. It gives you more of a body high. I don't even want to use the word high with CBD because it's really, it doesn't, it doesn't do that, but it definitely, it's good for your body. Like it calms your body. it eases your body. And so I think that for a lot of people that do struggle with anxiety, but who would probably be shamed for smoking CBD, and it's like it don't even get you high like that. I'm just trying to do my body good. But yeah, CBD smoothies would definitely be the wave. People would definitely buy a CBD smoothie from a Black woman.
Yeah, I've definitely been trying to figure out how to incorporate it, because I just feel like that would be the thing that sets it apart. You know, you can get a smoothie anywhere. You can get healthy food, well, almost anywhere, but like having, you know, THC or CBD or anything like that, just incorporate it with what you're eating is my goals.
So I know on Cyber Monday you did a special and you were telling me that you were even surprised that like how receptive people were to it. And I'm like, girl, people, I love smoothies, just even without the CBD. Okay, I love smoothies. So how can the people find the smoothies? Like, let us know.
So right now it's under Instagram, the Smoothie Queen. That's the with two E's. And I'll put it in the comments. But right now I'm not like a full time, full service business. But if you let me know like 24 hours in advance, I can get you a smoothie. And I have multiple flavors. I like to do different things with them. So, you know, what you would expect at a normal smoothie business, I offer different flavors. So definitely let me know. Everything is health focused. I have ashwagandha, black seed oil, maca root, sea moss, all of that. I like to have that in my smoothies as well as, you know, making sure it tastes good and sweets. So please let me know. I got a new blender. I'm excited. So, you know.
And y'all, I'm really not being a hype beast, but I was like, okay, I definitely have to get this smoothie before the podcast. So I'm not just hyping it up. And y'all, it was really bomb. Like it was so good. Like the consistency was really nice. Like all the toppings, it was good, y'all.
Thank you.
10 out of 10 recommend, I'm telling you. Okay. So we talked about smoothies. Um being I know that it was something that you kind of got into because of course coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Um being a visual artist during a pandemic. Everyone knows you for your work. I think you go back, aren't you like one of the original like Tumblr people? Like you had like the cool Tumblr profile.
Yeah.
I wasn't that cool. I ain't even gonna lie in front
Go back to 213. It's been a while.
I
Yeah.
wish I was cool enough back then to have been a Tumblr girl. I was on some whole other shit. I was on Bebo and MySpace.
Nah, but MySpace, I liked MySpace, but I started like my art career on Tumblr. Like I got my culture and aesthetic on Tumblr. So
Yes, but and so I like I like that now in recent times you don't post a lot of your work on social media, but I guess what I really wanted to talk about as far as being a visual artist during a pandemic is like how are you navigating that space? Because I know you already like don't like putting a lot of your work out there, but now we're kind of in an environment where it's like could that hurt you if you're not putting your work out there, or how are you seeing or how do you suggest like other creatives navigate that space and like still remain innovative? Like I know with you with your smoothies, like a huge part of it is the visual aesthetic, and it's like wow, you're able to leverage your talent as a visual artist to make me be like, oh, she also makes smoothies. Let me buy smoothie, and they're actually really good, you know. So like I guess just how are you navigating this space?
that's actually a good question. I've been battling with that even before COVID, because I had took a big social media break, like a little bit once like COVID started, but even then, I was like, do I need to be consistent? You know, how often do I need to post? Because we live in a world where social media is everything. Content creation is like a full-time job, and it's very important for your brand if you're building. So that's something I battle with to this day. Like, hey, should I post often? Should I do this disappearing act? You know, can I take breaks? I think everyone should allow themselves some time to take breaks, you know, because social media can be toxic. And I know people say it's the way you use it, but I feel like it's really social media in itself can be pretty toxic. Um, I think as long as you post like your great work, like when you do post, if it has been a few months and you post and it's amazing, you're good. You know, I would rather have one or two staple pieces, maybe even twice a year, than a consistent amount of photos that are just kind of lackluster. So for me, it's more on quality now, versus quantity, even though we're in a content creation world. And I feel like it should be that way across the board. It's like visual art and music, like people kind of just, they're putting anything out now. And I feel like, you should take your time with projects. Like find artists back in the days, and some fine artists now, like the ones who are in museums, a lot of them don't even have social media. They don't put their work on social media. And if they do, it's a small collection. But I do have a lot of my work on my website. So that's kind of being like, I think I've been trying to do is just kind of push traffic into my website. Because I feel like at some point, especially Instagram, with it becoming, Amazon, at this point, I really feel like,
Shopify.
like for real, Shopify, Etsy or whatever. But I really feel like we can't rely on it for too long. Like it's about to become a different network, and we're going to need other ways of bringing people into our websites.
It's gonna be hard to compete, because you have like these big companies with all this money that can pour all this into advertising and making sure their shit is the first thing you see on the algorithm, whatever. But I think even still, an advantage that we have as creatives, especially you being a photographer, is that, and someone who also, you're not just a photographer, like you're like you style all of your shoots, like usually like the vision that people see, like all of that is you. And I think that people that have that are able to tell stories like that, that's still going to be something that sets you apart. Because even with all that money and stuff, all the advertising and everything, it always all looks the same. Like I know even in the cannabis industry, like this is a nice little segue to Clubhouse. This is a room that
I
you
was just about to bring it up because I am like a Clubhouse mascot at this point.
you
I
are.
live, eat, sleep, drink Clubhouse all day. I have a terrible addiction to that network.
Y'all, this room, but it's not all a bad thing, because this room that you pinged me in, like, it was this cannabis room, and it actually, I got like hella connections from this room, like job
Oh yeah, and it was
opportunities. So
all
I was
black,
like, thank
all
you,
black.
Erica, girl. I see what the hype is about.
Because
But
honestly, like that was a really good room too. I was gonna say that, like that was A1. That's kind of like what I like to do. Go
I
ahead. I'm
forgot
sorry.
where I was going with the Clubhouse room, but it was something about the room and oh, with telling stories. So a lot of like cannabis companies, like if you like get on Instagram and like look up hashtag cannabis, like a lot of the like dispensaries and growers, like all the pages look the exact same. And it's like, that's cool, but like, why do I want to buy this from you? And it's like, where that puts like me in a good position, and this company and like what I'm doing in a good position to be able to help people tell those stories. But it's like, as much money and influence and power as these people have, it's like, what don't you get about the people want to hear? We want to hear the stories. It's about the stories, because literally all the pictures, it all looks like the exact same. And I'm tired of it. But yeah, Clubhouse.
And see, that's kind of what I like about Clubhouse because it's content in a different form. The only thing that you are selling is your voice and your thoughts. And we were just kind of dealing with a time where Black people, especially, our voices were not being heard. I think Clubhouse is like that perfect segue. Now we hear, you can have 5,000 Black people talking to each other at once about things. Like there was, I think, a Clubhouse room a few days ago that was talking about Black wealth. And I learned some things that I've never like I would have never learned this on Instagram or Twitter. I wouldn't have had accessibility, like access to these places. I think Clubhouse literally gets rid of that hierarchy barrier of like having to pay $800 for like networking meetups, or having to message these people with blue check marks and stuff like
Yeah.
that to get information from them, and them kind of giving you like a little bit of information. Like these people are literally giving you TED Talks for free
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of like nothing. You're just literally on your phone, taking a
Last
shower, you listen to a TED Talk of information. So I
last
think like,
night,
what's up?
last night I was in a room with Olivia Alexander. She's like the CEO of Kush Queen. She has like the CBD. She does like bath bombs and like it was one of like the really big. She was one of the first like cannabis girls, and she was just in a room like telling people like telling people where to get like what am I looking for, Jesus? What's the where to how to use payment processors? Because you know, if you sell cannabis or like even if you have the name cannabis in your LLC and you don't even touch the products, like you can't use certain banks. And like she was just giving away like so much knowledge that people, especially in states that just became legal, like so much knowledge that you need. Like I've learned so much just from being in these rooms with like people who've been in recreational states, have been in the game for a long time, and it's like, oh my god, like if only I had known. And like it's at your fingertips, and it's like if you're using, I like that you focus, like we went right into the good part of Clubhouse, because this is the good part of Clubhouse. I feel like what's all in the media is like the ratchet part of Clubhouse.
There is some deep dark corners after 2 a.m. that you can find out. See, that's the thing I like about it though. There's a room for everything, you know. So, you know, for the people that want to be in some certain rooms, they can be in those rooms and they can do their thing. And also they can hop out and they can network and find jobs. Like they had a job board room today. It was like 3 hours long and it was like 30 jobs, you
I
know.
think you pinged me to it, but I was like
Okay.
stressed out about this.
It is
I'm
great. And
not
honestly, I was going to say Clubhouse is actually great for my brand. I've gained 200 followers on my Instagram off of my Clubhouse.
Oh, girl, I
So
got about like 50, but 200?
influencer, okay, where is my Clubhouse check mark? No, it's fine. But and that's what I like about it because there's no like, you know, verification, there's no like check mark
Mhm.
process. Everyone is on the same page, but you can literally be in the same room with someone who actually I was in the same room with someone who was on Beyonce's team. You know, so it's just like,
Wow.
you know, the girl, I'm sorry, not the girl, the team that shot Cardi B. Like I was talking to him 2 days ago and he was just telling me about like his struggles as a photographer and, you know, being in a big group and like learning to adjust to like having a partner and all that. And then like 2 days later, Cardi B stuff dropped. So I'm just like,
That's amazing. And that was beautiful. He did an amazing
it
job.
was immaculate. Like, and it's just crazy though, because these people are so humble on there. You know, they're
Mhm.
doing great things. They have all these connections and they're just talking to you like everyday people. It really gets rid of that 6 degree of separation. Like it's two
Yeah.
degrees on, well, 1 degree on Clubhouse. So, and then there's drama too, though. There's a lot of drama. So, you
Oh
know, use it
God.
wisely, you know.
My favorite one thing that I've noticed is the same chats keep coming up, like the colorism rooms, the dating rooms,
Yay. Oh, the
the
dating rooms are good though. They have speed dating. You know, honestly, I love social media, y'all. So I can talk about that this whole entire interview. But one thing I'm noticing is I feel like the need for dating apps wouldn't exist on Clubhouse or because of Clubhouse, because you can just talk to people directly, see who their
yeah.
mutuals are, see their Instagram. I mean, like, what would you need the Hinge and the Bumbles and the Tinders for when you can just talk to the person? It's like calling them without them even giving you their number. So I mean,
High key, that's one of the things that I really, really like about Clubhouse. It made me it made me remember why I liked social media in the
mhm,
first place, because it, like you said, it's just like your this minimal bio, just your Abby and
your
your
voice,
your authentic self. Like you don't really have time to think
no
about what you're
filter.
gonna say. Like you're just being really social. You're either in the audience listening or you're on the stage interacting, like not afraid to share your opinion. And I just think that, like you said, now that Instagram is a marketplace, there's not really a place for
It's,
you
it's
to
AliExpress.
now that it's AliExpress, you can't really, it's so much shit on there. It's hard to differentiate, or it's seen as weird when you're really trying to be yourself. And honestly, I'm like thinking about it now. Maybe that's why I like really wanted to do a webinar, because I'm like, the people that really want to be here are going to
Good.
be here.
Yeah,
The people that really want to be here are going to be here. Like the
you
people
are.
that fuck with it. But it's just like so much of the social media has been sucked out of social media,
And
and
that's the
Clubhouse
funny
made me
thing.
realize that.
Like, I really think Clubhouse is the original form of social media. Like, it's what social media is. It's the term, you know, for social media. I think like
Somebody
Instagram,
told me it used to be like like way before social media. It used to be something like Clubhouse, where you could like
AOL.
call. No, not AOL. We had AOL. It was like a number that you could call, and like
That's
people
cool.
would. oh my god, what was it called? I think it was called like House Party,
Oh, I heard of it. I did hear of that.
and you can like call in, and it
But
was
that
like
might have been before our time.
it was. That's what I said. I was like, that was for the hot girls because I don't remember that.
I would love that too. Shoot. Well, we had pagers back then. Let me stop. But no, I don't want to stick on Clubhouse.
I'm like, oh, the connection. I didn't account for this. Okay, well, Clubhouse was actually our last topic anyway. So I'm going to look and see if there's any questions. Somebody said, love seeing young Black women being confident in their conversation. Thank you.
Hello, can you see me?
Okay, yes, I can see you.
I'm back, y'all. My Wi-Fi
froze
sucks.
up. Girl, that was a test. That was a test to see if I was gonna feel the space.
But you know what? Clubhouse deals with this daily, and it'd be like professional. So don't even feel bad, girl. This is a normal.
No, you know what? I think too. Clubhouse made me more confident and like, you know what? Just go ahead and do this
Yep.
shit. Like, shit
It's
kept
not gonna be
falling
perfect.
through.
It's not gonna be perfect. Honestly, like that's what I like about Clubhouse. Like it gives people a voice that would not feel confident in having a voice in other platforms and other places. Like me, I have a lot of social anxiety. Like even doing the interview here, I was telling Rachel, like I was like, I don't know, it's gonna be people watching, it's live.
And I feel like you're so great. Like you are like you're somebody that I don't you're received well. Like I said I could see Erica being on the Real World, y'all.
Girl, but that's why I think like as far as like building, and I don't want to talk about influencers, and I wasn't a fan of influencers until I got like Clubhouse, and I'm like, you know what? Like I could see myself being like a Clubhouse influencer. Like I feel like if I can use my voice versus like how I edit my pictures or what I'm wearing or where I'm going, that's the most authentic form. Like if people like my voice and what I'm saying, shoot, I don't need the filters and the going to Costa Rica and taking pictures and I don't need all of that. So I really, really like it. And I was going to also mention one more thing with it. I like the restorative justice aspect to it. Well, so far we've had Kevin Hart, and previously, before I think you got on, there was Joe Budden. So basically, men, and especially Black men that may have wronged Black men, I'm sorry, Black women in the past, are basically able to talk about where they went wrong. Other women are able to ask them different questions and vent to them, and they're able to vent back. Like I feel like there's a lot of restorative justice. Like people are it's like a red table talk, but digital. Joe Budden was basically not defending himself, but I would say he was explaining how his past self was, and Kevin Hart was explaining some things that he's done wrong. And people are able to talk back to these people versus, Twitter, the shade room and all that. It's comments and they don't have to respond. One way. So I think it's great. So, but
I do.
I love Clubhouse.
I do. I like that aspect of it. I think that too, in that same breath, it can be like people have been tweeting and saying like Clubhouse is a PR nightmare. And I kind of
they're looking at it wrong though. I think this is a great place for people to redeem themselves because when you hear people,
but it can go wrong fast. Like how so when Kevin Hart was saying like this was before I was in the room, so I can only paraphrase. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I was in there the whole time.
But he was saying whatever he said about when he used the analogy of how even though Bill Cosby was dead ass wrong, that Black people tore him down. And he was saying that it's like we always do that to each other. Like we're quick to instead of critique each other, we're negative with each other. And people harped on the fact that he used Bill Cosby as an analogy, which it was kind of like, oh, why would you use that as an example? But they read so much into what he said versus what he was trying to say, like the overall message. And he was like, I don't think that Bill Cosby is innocent, and I think that he deserves to be in jail. But what I said was that it was Black people that tore him down. And he was like, now watch, the headline is going to be Kevin Hart defends Bill Cosby.
Oh, it was a headline. He was right. But see, that's the thing. I honestly think that he knew what he was saying, even though it wasn't the best thing to say in that situation.
I think it was a PR stunt. I think he knew to go on Clubhouse and
he repeated it like 3 times. I was just like, oh no, you wanted to say this. Like this is what you wanted to say. So I mean, at this point, I just think it's no filter for him. Like he wants all the smoke.
So, when do you think the Clubhouse is going to go live? Because I was in a room and they were
Hopefully.
saying that they think it's going to go live in like 2 weeks, like right before the holiday, and I'm like, "Oh my god. What's going to become of Clubhouse? The world will never know."
I have a conspiracy. Oh, by the way, Clubhouse has tons of conspiracy theory rooms, and I love conspiracy theories. Love them.
I'm like,
Um,
"Can you ping me to those rooms cuz
yeah,
I ain't
girl,
seen."
I love them. I have a conspiracy theory that is not going to go live. It's going to stay the way it is. Like I feel like it's actually live, and this is how it's going to be. You have to invite someone. Someone has to let you in. Because if you think about like having a job or just having a like access to like a networking space, you have to know about it. And someone might be that
Yeah.
person who tells you. So I think they're gonna. It's a clubhouse. I think they're literally gonna keep it as in.
You
I
know what?
don't know about it.
I didn't think about that, but that makes the most sense because I know some people are like, some people are weird about who they invite. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm weird about it, but I do try to invite people that I think
Let's
have
talk about it
something.
though,
I,
because
I try to invite people that I think have something to contribute to the conversation. I don't necessarily think about whether they're controversial or whether they would say some shit I didn't agree with, but like I genuinely try and add people that I feel like people that I like following on other social media pages or whose brands I like those are the people that I wanted to be on Clubhouse because I want to see more spaces curated for me on my hallway because I know there's also like this big talk with like the algorithm and how that works and how it's racist and there's secret rooms with the KKK and I'm just like
yeah, that was before we got on, girl. That was, and I don't know if everyone else, but I'm in software development, so like algorithms is like being a conspiracy theorist, an Afrofuturist, and being a software development. I'm talking about algorithms a lot. But I think trying to remember what I was gonna say. But as far as Clubhouse goes, I don't think it's gonna be open to the public because I feel like they've been talking about that for too long. It's been a year. I think this is open to the public. But I do think as far as invites, I'm very weary of that because actually today the guy who was running the colorist kind of the room that was kind of hateful. The girl who invited,
wait was it the
you know what I'm talking
wait
about.
was it the okay I don't want to well shit it's the room everybody gonna probably find out anyway was it the room
Yeah.
with the guy Eugene.
Yeah, and so like the girl that's actually
I
like
didn't
follow the
understand
girl.
what he did wrong. Like why people like I
He
do
has to kind of
understand
sit
what
in the
people were
rooms.
saying he did wrong, but people
He
was like badgering this
he
man.
was
And I was like,
well the
this is
problem
the poo part of Clubhouse.
no, but for real, like the problem I know, and they were badgering him too. And he does everyone deserves a voice. That's I believe in freedom of speech. But
Yes. And they were like demanding that he apologize exactly how they wanted him to. And I'm like,
he's
no,
not gonna do that.
that's not life,
But he
people.
was really colorist. And on top of that, we have to watch about because I'm big on programming, of course, but I do believe in audio programming. And he is a Trump fan, like he
Oh
voted for
my
Trump.
God, really?
I did my research. So the girl who let him in, I already followed her, so I was messaging her back and forth, and she's like, I don't really know him too well. I just let him in, but I know he's, voted for Trump and all that. And so I'm like, okay, so like that gives me context of like I need to be careful on who I invite in because that badge is on there, so like that can mess up my network, my influence
Yeah.
or whatever, or my brand because I let this person in. But at the same time, it's an app where freedom of speech is apparent. So I mean, there's no filters, there's no like redlining or anything. Well, there is, but it's different. Twitter, they can flag it and say it's fake news. On Clubhouse, it's whatever goes. So I mean, it's the wild
Yeah.
wild west. It's the wild wild west. So
It's definitely the Wild Wild West. And I think that's what I like about it too, because I'm a very like face value, it is what it is kind of person. Like I like writing because I'm able to process what I'm thinking and feeling and say it beautifully. So this space, like navigating this, trying to do a podcast was like now I'm more comfortable now that like our conversation's flowing, but it's hard because I'm definitely I have good intentions, but that doesn't always come out of my mouth, And it's like some people aren't patient enough to have a conversation with you or really try to understand what it is that you're saying. And I think Clubhouse allows a little bit more space for that. Some people do just be wilding. Like with the Eugene, like some people just want to be negative. Some people just
That's
don't,
true.
they just want you to agree with them or whatever it is they want. But like it's rare. I like being in spaces where you can really talk to and listen to and understand the other person. And really that's why I want to have people. My This series is called Friends in High Places. You're one of my friends that I love and I look up to creatively, but also that I can talk to and have honest conversations with. I feel like we've had hard conversations before, but I'm able to really listen to you and understand you, and I feel like vice versa. So it's rare that you find that. I'm still patient with people that aren't like that. If you trying to learn how to be patient with people like that, get on Clubhouse, honey.
Man, it'll teach you.
If
And
you got social anxiety, get your ass on Clubhouse
oh,
and get
for
you some
real.
practice.
But girl, speaking of hi, did you smoke today? Did you smoke before you did this?
You know what? I'm gonna answer this question and then I'm gonna answer that question. Somebody asked if my name on Clubhouse or my company's name. It's actually under my name.
The question.
I'm a teetering this. I'm fighting this battle of going off the grid, but I'm like, how is you gonna have a whole brand for the community and the culture and you off the grid? But so I'm trying to figure out how to do less, but it's not. So I probably should have put it under my company's name, but
Necessarily.
I put it under my name. Um,
This comments. Mars is hilarious.
Marcia told me to stay in these streets. You know what? I like you. I'm not gonna say I like the street. I like the streets, y'all. The streets like me, actually. I don't like the streets. The
Well,
streets like me. But yes, I did smoke today. But I waited until right before because I was like, I want to like just take in like everything that I'm feeling. I want to like have a clear head as I'm like trying to prepare. I tried to stay off social media. Twitter is so bad. Like you addicted to Clubhouse. I'm addicted to Twitter.
you are. But I was gonna say, because I will have a couple of months off at some point. And I kind of see myself as like a beginner when it comes to everything marijuana. What would you give, like, what would be your like beginner's advice? Like someone who's just getting started. I mean, curious.
My beginner's advice is okay, so it's so the cannabis industry is because it is federally illegal and it's different in every state. So it's just kind of botched. And I feel like you can't really give like specific advice. But if you're in a recreational state, you're trying to do it right, you go to a dispensary and it's your first time, I don't recommend doing edibles because I feel like people always, even though if you go to a dispensary, it's less likely that you'll take too much or too little. Like you can talk to the people at the dispensary and they'll be able to tell you, like, oh, if it's your first time, take this much, don't do no more than that. Or if
Mm.
you don't feel the effects, maybe take this much more. But definitely, if you go to a dispensary, just talk to the people. They know what they talking about. I ain't no license, nothing. I don't need nobody coming after me. But anyway, um, if you're in a recreational state and you're at the dispensary, just talk to the people and let them know it's your first time. But usually I say a hybrid just because I know usually with the sativa indica hybrid, it just balances you out versus a sativa kind of takes you up. Like today I have a sativa, so it's kind of bad for my anxiety because I'm like up now, but for people that don't buy from a dispensary and you would like to try, I recommend just knowing what it is, knowing the best what it is you're buying, what you're getting yourself into. And a lot of places, I know not all places, I know at least here in Missouri, CBD is legal.
Sure.
And
Mhm.
CBD flower can look just like flour that you got from the trap. You know what I'm saying? And so people can often confuse the two, but you can buy CBD, and if it's your first time like trying THC, you can cut it with CBD, and it'll even it out. But yeah.
I, I'm gonna have to put that in my smoothies like tomorrow. Like after you explained it to me, I'm like, that's pretty simple. I could
Well, so
probably.
you would have to find like if you want to put it in a smoothie, it would either have to be like with through the honey or like
Okay.
if you had like found like a isolate. And so I've used a CBD isolate before. I bought it
I
from
don't
like
know what isolate is.
it's like okay, it's so fun. Like it's weird describing it because the way I describe it, the way it look, it do kind of look like coat like it's like a white
Really?
it's like a white crystal like substance, but it's literally just broken down. I don't know like the technical term, but it's broken down. It's crystallized, and so that you can mix it in stuff like smoothies, because there's a certain way that you have to break it down and able to be able to put it in a smoothie. Like you can't just put CBD flower in the smoothie and
Right.
get the
That makes sense.
properties. But
You'll be my test trial. You'll be the first person
yes,
that
girl,
I
I
do.
will let you know. And I told you I got you on the honey. I got you on the honey. I don't make the honey myself, but um yes. So we've gone on and on. I don't see lots of questions. I saw the one about my
Ask us
Clubhouse.
stuff.
I know. Do you guys have anything for Erica? Is anybody familiar with her work or want to know like anything? You can ask us now. Forever hold your peace. I also wanted to add that.
Oh, let me see.
What are some of your
Ooh, that's a good question, Mars. I don't know
I love
because
Mars. Mars is so for the culture. Mars
you're
be
my
here for
favorite
that. I see you,
person.
Mars.
That's a good question, Mars. I don't know. I think it goes by a season for me. Like right now, my favorite is Dante Maurice. It's like ABDM. I love Dion Ivory. I know her personally.
Wait,
Um,
is Dante the guy that did Cardi?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm trying to. Oh my gosh, I feel bad, but I'm trying to remember the girl who did Beyonce's. But those photos were immaculate. I've been to her
Yeah.
Instagram. Everything is just so like I can't explain it. It's just like going to a different land, almost like visiting her Instagram.
Oh
It's a
wow.
moment there. Like I feel it. Um, and then what do you say? What do you say? Ooh, I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting on. I feel like SZA's my favorite soundtracks is what he asked to
Okay.
get us through this year. I feel like SZA's gonna drop some hot shit. I'm waiting on it. So I like Hit Different. Anything Ty Dolla Sign is featured in, as long as he's not the actual person in the song, he's just a
That's
feature.
how I feel about Young Jeezy. Who you
Oh,
think? Who you think won? Who you
oh,
think won the battle? Jeezy or
let me
Gucci?
tell you, Erica is Team Gucci all the way. Like I had on a T-search that said Team Gucci. Like I love Gucci. I grew up on Gucci. That's my baby daddy in a different world.
Girl,
Um,
I was like, only a fool thinks that Jeezy won. And actually, I guess Gucci doesn't have like as big of a following in up east. And so I was in this room on Clubhouse afterwards. And these guys, like everybody in there was from New York, and they all was like, Jeezy won. And I was like, oh, well, I felt like Gucci won. And they was like, where are you from? I'm like, St. Louis. And they was like, oh, yeah, down south. And I was like, see,
but outside of Gucci though, another person that I really like is Thundercat. Big Thundercat. I like her.
oh, why am I late to the Thundercat train? I love
He's
him.
jazzy.
What's that
I'm a
song?
big Victoria Monet fan. I love her. I love
You
her aesthetic. I feel like she's next. I'm trying to think who else. As far as rap,
My sister just
okay.
put me on Bia. I slept on
I
her.
like Mia. She sounds like Rihanna. Am I just
She has her own like
so?
own little vibe, but she has this song Cover Girl that I'm like, okay, Bia.
I like her. I like her. There's a lot of we have a lot of women's rap to choose from now. Like if we
What
would have did
about have you heard Take Care of You by Charlotte Day Wilson featuring Sid?
no, and I love Sid. Okay,
Mars,
so
have
I
you
love
heard that
Sid.
song? Oh my
I
God.
love
First
the
of
internet.
all, listen to
Yes.
it. It's this. Can you
Maybe I
hear
have
it?
heard it. No, I haven't. Oh my God.
I'm gonna send it to
I
you.
need your playlist in that case. Me and my dad, we love Sid. Like
I love
that
her. Like her
underrated
voice
for
is
certain.
from the
She's
heavens above.
one of I honestly think she's one of a kind. She reminds me of like vintage, like early, maybe like 70s, like if 70s and 80s had R&B, I would say like that was for sure.
See, and you know what? The 70s is my favorite era. I think
Really?
my past life I lived in the 70s and I was kicking it because I love the 70s. And so the fact that you said she has a 70s vibe, it makes
I
sense.
do like the 70s music. My favorite music, I would say, like time period. I mean, I like early 90s R&B, but I like I think it was the 60s, the 60s and the 80s selectively. Like maybe late 69 to like early 70s, like best music. Isaac Hayes, all of them. So yeah.
Like my favorite oh my god, what is her name? The I get high on your memory.
Oh, it's not Donna Summers.
I
It's
get high, 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 high,
what's her
high.
name? It's the girl who
I
sings
hear the
starts
mention
with
of
the
your
M.
name. I always react the
Oh
same.
no, that's someone different.
I get
Not her.
aroused high on a cloud. Tina Fey, not Tina
Oh,
Fey.
Tina, the one who dated well, married Rick James.
No, not her.
Not
She
Tina
was
Marie.
with Payne. Frida Payne. Her name is Frida Payne.
Oh, you
Frida
put me on
Payne.
some gems. I didn't know that.
Okay, Mars. Don't nobody else got no questions besides Mars. If everybody else that's just
He
here, that's
has good
just
questions
listening,
though.
thank you.
I'm satisfied with his questions. I mean, I think they're pretty good.
I told you Mars be doing it for the culture. So
And
we and
Mars, if you ever decide to do like a DJ mix on Clubhouse, please do that again. When you were first on, we first got on, you were doing that. That was vibes. So please go back to doing that because sometimes we need an escape on that app. You know.
right, Mars, we got to get you on the podcast so we can talk some. I'm gonna do some psilocybin before our interview so I can really get into the question. And that's another thing. I think first of all, psychedelics. I've started joining rooms in Clubhouse and just like learning about it. And I've been learning about it before, but hearing other people speak to it and just like be so passionate and interested in it, like yes.
So I tried shrooms for the first time in Las Vegas. It was
Okay.
amazing. I took some photography while doing shrooms because I was like, if I'm gonna do it, like I need to do it now. Everything was so colorful. Like my whole aesthetic was different. Like the stuff you see on my Instagram, totally different than when I'm on shrooms. Like it was just
Really?
vibey. I loved it. It was colorful. It was vibrant. It was a lot of mood in the portraits. Like it was just totally different. Like I don't know what elements shrooms put me in, but creatively, like I've been looking for some more because I kind of want to like
Yeah,
create new.
you have to be. I was in Cali when I did it. So I knew what I was getting myself into, but
How much did you
definitely
do? Like a lot?
no, I was a micro dose.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact dosage, but it was not even, I think, point 0.5 is like the recommended for a beginner. But I did less than that. But it first of all, I was like extremely sick, and what it did was it like took away all my symptoms. Like I was not sick anymore.
Holy moly.
And I know for me, my it really just, like you said, like how everything was just so much more beautiful. I think because obviously you're a photographer, so you see things that other people don't see. So I
Mhm.
could only imagine that when that part of your mind is opened up, how much more beautiful what you see is. And that was kind of my thing. Like water reflecting on light was and now even still is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm like, that's so beautiful that God would share that with me. Like that is just, it was like
You was definitely look. I'm jealous you were at the beach. Like I mean, I was in the mountain. Well, what is it? The desert. So I mean, I feel like long as you're in a good place where you do it, it really like adds to it. But I was gonna say, I felt like my art. Like I feel like a lot of times my art is structured and kind of biased for what I think is going to be, quality. A lot of art I hold back. When I was on shrooms, it was kind of like I was tapped into my younger self, like when I first started doing photography. Like it was just a whole different element of me. And I
Mhm.
was just like, nah, this is it. Like I'm gonna have to do some work.
Yes, and I do want to clarify for the boomers and the Gen Xers out there in the audience. So, I know some people like taking trips, and that's what they do. They're trippy, and that's great. Me personally, it was more of a spiritual experience for me, and sometimes I'm a spiritual person. I'm not necessarily religious. I'm a spiritual person, and so I like to practice my spirituality. And for me, it was a way for me to look deeper into myself. And so, like you said, like you have to be in a good environment, you have to be around good people.
True.
Um, Definitely have to be around good vibes, good people. Um, can you see the questions in the? Yes, I can. Okay, so cool. we got like 10 more minutes and then the 30 for the Q&A, but I ain't gonna hold y'all all night since so we're already answering questions. We'll just keep with this. We answered the tracks about our songs. Did you answer Mara's question about how you got started and what led you to photography or
Let
to
me
your
just see
passion?
that. Whoa, that's a good question. That's a good question. So when you mentioned Tumblr, that was kind of like my embarking onto photography. And also just realizing that like Black women run shit. So like in 2014, no, it's 2012. 2012, I was in a big high school clique, fell out with all my friends. I was depressed about it, had nowhere to go. So I was online and I found out about Tumblr, and I started seeing Black women in, business roles, Black women in different photos, like Afrocentric, African Black women, like people I would have never seen anywhere else. Like you couldn't Google to see these people. They were literally only on Tumblr. It was just like an exclusive. And that's when I started like saying, man, I kind of want to be able to photograph these women because for one, representation is important. Like I didn't even know, like I know it sounds crazy, but I was a military brat and I lived overseas. So when I came to the States, I didn't really get a chance to see like Black women my age, like owning businesses, like really doing that shit. So like seeing that, I was like, oh my God, like this exists, like I can do this. So I wanted to capture those women. I wanted to capture the art in the way I've seen these other photographers on Tumblr capture it. And I had already had like a design degree. I was already like really big on graphic design, and I was bored of it. I was like, I need something different. And I picked up a camera. My dad gave me a camera for my like one of my graduation gifts. And I took like I think like an intro to photography class at the college I was at, and I just kind of went away with it. Ever since then, like we would have these projects. Like I would stay up in the studio at the school until like 2 a.m. Like everyone else would go home, and I was just sitting there for hours doing self portraits, like learning lighting, etc. I was obsessed with it. Like for a full year straight, I was obsessed with photography. And then, Instagram came around and became really popular, and I started posting my work on Tumblr, started posting my work on Instagram. And I think that's when I started seeing like I guess the Black Renaissance, like the Black art Renaissance, really started on Tumblr. People don't give it any credit, but it started
They
on
don't.
Tumblr.
People don't give Tumblr enough credit for inspiring the girls.
All those photographers, like I used to like really be cool with online. Joshua Kissy, Zakia. There was a few others that were. It was just literally like you could name,
I
put them
didn't know. I know Zakia,
screen.
but you know what? I didn't know that she was a Tumblr girl. I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, Jasmine Dumas, like a lot of us, we were just originally on Tumblr, and yeah, I just started posting my work. It was well received. I was surprised because I never picked up a camera before. Um, Ever since then, I just fell in love with it. I think for me though, my first few photos were my self portraits, and surprisingly so. Before I had like a professional camera, I was doing self portraits on like a digital camera when I was 13. I found some. I was like, what? Like, how did I know about self portraits back then? Like, what? So I
I've
feel like
always been this girl.
it's in my blood. Like, I feel like it's been a part of me for years, ever, forever. So after like doing self portraits and people liking how I take pictures of myself, a lot of people wanted to be in the place of myself, like seeing themselves where I was at. So that's kind of how I got started with like doing client work and, portrait photography and all that. But I find myself wanting to go backwards now. Like I think my next few pieces, well, for one, I'm working on my first gallery project. It's time. Like it's obviously time.
It's
So
time. It's
man,
time.
man. So I really want to be in gallery spaces. That's kind of what 2021 Erica wants to be a part of. Have some art residencies, etc. So
And
yeah, I think
if y'all did not know, Erica, a few of Erica's pictures have gone like viral on the internet. Like go watch
true.
it. Her
Yes, yes.
eye, it's the eye. She has the vision.
Thank
All the
you.
girls don't have the vision.
I
Okay.
mean, their own vision, but I will say that like having viral photos like really, really kept me in the game because I was like, wow, people need to see this. Like I've had people message me, like I've had people like I would see them on Facebook and I wasn't their friend, and one of my viral photos would be like their profile picture, like young girls, like with
Oh
my photo.
wow.
And it's
That's
just like,
dope.
so I was just
That's
like, you know what?
dope.
People need to see this. Like Black girls need to see this. They deserve to have what I had in 2012. Seeing other Black women in a positive space, looking beautiful as ever, really tapped into their safe space. Because that's a big thing on my work. Like I really want people to feel safe, sexy, comfortable, all of that.
I
And
noticed that on your website, you highlight Black women
I
and
try, like, they're my favorite subject. I want to do more projects on Black men. So I think 2021, y'all gonna have to hold me to it. I am gonna try to
and
do.
you've been so you also been getting going viral with the reels. I ain't figured out the reels. I'm not that cool
Girl,
yet.
they're
But
like,
you have a good eye, like with the guys that you photograph.
oh,
Like those are some great, like timeless. Like they're gonna show those pictures to their grandchildren.
I
Like
hope so. I hope so. I like photographing men. Honestly, like I feel like it's the total opposite energy when I'm photographing women. So I really like it. I want to get some more couples. I want to do some more self portraits. I just want to create a lot of shit. Like I really do. So hopefully 2021 will motivate me. Because I feel like the pandemic really got me started. Like
oh yeah,
back.
it got us all started. It should. I hope the pandemic lit a fire under your ass,
I'm
cause
not gonna lie. Like a part of me, like yes, it's been terrible. Like my dad had COVID. It's a very bad thing. But I feel like it just birthed so much stuff. Like, and
yeah.
it reinvented people. Like I was originally wasn't going to. I was gonna head into like doing tech, but I didn't think I would need to. But like right when I started class, like I think a month after COVID happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, everything's gonna be digital. Like nothing, no one's going to clock in and physically go into work. Everything's going to be very digital. And so I was kind of glad that I was kind of already on that tech path. um,
Already knowing how to navigate that space.
I have a YouTube, y'all. Like I'm building on it, but I
I'll
really want to get.
drop your YouTube in the chat.
I gotta drop it because like I really want Black girls to get into tech. So that's a thing. There's not a lot of Black women, Black American women especially. So if y'all take anything from this, like please get Black girls into tech. So yeah, that's that.
Well,
I
I
feel like I've
don't
been talking a lot.
know. We have, but I feel like the conversation been flowing, girl. I'm like, I could talk to you even more, but
Right. Our conversations in real life be hours long. Hours. Like,
yo,
man.
they do, and I love that. I love having that interaction, like people that you can just naturally talk to and flow. I'm trying to understand you. You trying to understand me. That's what the conversation is. That's what I want this podcast to be. Everybody understand that weed is not all bad.
True.
That is the ultimate point of this podcast and all the opportunities that it creates. There's so much money that Black people are missing out on. And like as you were talking about when you said that girl had that picture of one of your viral pictures like as her profile picture, I even like love how when we did that feature with Mary and you took that picture of her and like she uses it like it's her profile picture and I'm like she likes that picture of her so much and I'm like
Our Essence feature, girl. I
yes,
wanted her to be an Essence. I was excited.
I'm like, that's dope to me. Like just to see your work like out there in the world and that of like all the pictures that people take of her that she could use, she chose to use that one. Like that's dope to me. And I'm like,
It makes
Mary's
my day every time I
definitely
see it. I'm like, okay, because she knows plenty of photographers. She could just get a shoot tomorrow. But the fact that she just relies on that one, I'm like, okay.
I'll
I,
take it. I'll take it to the bank.
Mary is amazing. So I can't wait to see her on here. Definitely can't
Yes.
wait.
I'm definitely gonna have to get Mary on here. Mary will yes. I if you didn't read, I don't know if we dropped volume 1 in the chat for you guys, but check out volume 1. She was in issue 2. The interview that I did with her. She is a force to
She's a
be reckoned
boss for
with.
sure.
She's a boss.
Like
I'm a boss ass bitch.
I loved her. Like actually, like meeting her too. I'm like, wow, this energy is amazing. So I cannot wait.
I got
Some people in high places
the
for sure.
blanket on at that time.
Right, I'm over here look like I'm going to interview or something. Y'all know I gotta wear my white, so like
We
that had
both
to
have
happen.
on the white, and I have
That
on
had to
the
happen.
Ain't Laurent
I
by
feel like I'm
Inspired
inspired by
by.
the white.
Well, Erica, thank you so much. I don't think we have any more questions.
But hey to y'all, I seen who was watching. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yes, it was fun talking to you. I really appreciate you being on my very first ever guest. I can't wait to strip this audio down and
Sure.
like see what became of this. But oh, someone said, "Are you taking online orders to ship your smoothies?"
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not there yet. I'm starting. I have a group on Clubhouse about my smoothies. So I'm trying to find like people that are also in the food business that can give me some advice. But ideally, I would like to. Like one of my guy friends brought that up, like, hey, why don't you just make this something where you're shipping smoothies out? So that's definitely on my list. It's a good question.
Okay, no. I feel like my mom is in the audience asking questions, and I'm like, girl, boo. Not Rita. She is trolling me, y'all. My
What's
own
wrong
mama.
with you?
It be your own people trolling you in the comments. That's another thing. How do you, before we go, how do you deal with trolls? Have you been trolled on Clubhouse?
I'm trolled. No, it's like no. No, not really, because I really watch what I say on there, and I know how to leave a conversation when I need to. A lot of the music rooms, I think sometimes I see trolls, but not really. Like I don't think I've ever really been trolled. And if I do, I'm really good at just removing myself from the internet for a couple of days and then coming back, and people forget about it.
How
Like they don't
quickly do you
remember the
forget?
troll.
People do be forgetting.
Their attention span. So like honestly, no. But
One of my friends, she on here, they can't see the attendees, but she had like went viral like on some crazy like randoms. Like people, somebody was trolling her. And I was like, girl, these people they gonna forget about it tomorrow. And sure
oh, for
enough,
sure. 40, what Drake
nothing.
said 48 hours. People forget, like,
Yeah,
especially
like
now.
um where can we purchase your shirts? Oh, so this is not my shirt, but I do have t-shirts available at juanasjoint.com. But I don't see any more like I don't see any more like the scroll is being weird, but no, we don't have any more questions.
Yeah, I think
But
did we answer?
what's up next as far as projects? What's up next
Um,
as far
so
as
Rox,
creation?
basically, I really want to get my work into like, well, like I was saying, like into a gallery space. Seeing my work in a physical space versus a digital space. That would be my first thing. I got connected on Clubhouse to a girl who has hundreds of art residencies and grants. And she's also an art residency and grant writer. So I'm like just trying to make the work. So when it's time, I can just put myself in that place. She showed me this one grant. It's in Rome. So I'm like, that would be like the highest form of like manifestations. Like if
Wait,
I
like in Rome, Italy? Is that where Rome is? Rome is a different place.
Yeah, it's a 1 week art grant, art residency. I'm sorry,
Oh
and
my god.
he showed me, and I was like, I would love to do it. Like I would to like let me if y'all ever want to be connected to her too, I can definitely send you her
And
info.
I'm like, Rox, you hear all this connection? I've gotten so many
Please get on
opportunities in the
Clubhouse,
cannabis industry through
especially for music.
Clubhouse. Erica about to go to Rome. Get on the Clubhouse, and you just moved to Atlanta. I'm trying to tell you, get on the Clubhouse and use it wisely.
Very true.
Thanks, Ace. I'm so happy that you guys joined. I really hope that this was, I feel like it was satisfying because you know what? I will say I wouldn't have even, I was reluctant, like I said, to start the podcast, but people always compliment me on my ability to just have a conversation. And I literally, y'all, I just be talking and I feel like it happens, it flows. And I feel like we had a great dialogue today. I learned some things. I hope the people in the audience learned some things. Um,
I'm just glad I'm your first guest. I feel special.
you are special and I'm happy. I was insistent on you being my first guest because I know too that you don't usually do live things. So
True.
I really, really, really appreciate you doing this. And yeah, do you have anything else for the people? Anything else you want the girls to know before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I just wanted to say hey to everyone. So yeah,
All right, you guys. Well, Juana T.
Jasmine and Mars. I'll see y'all on Clubhouse.
Right, the after party on Clubhouse, y'all. I ain't got no invite, so if you ain't on there, you can't get.
Damn! Wow.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end this thing. I'm going to put if you guys did not register for the one on the I'll be talking to Colby Elliott. She is a stylist on December 17th. And then on December 20th, I am going to be recording with Savis Davis Austin, hair extraordinaire. We just dropped the links to register in the chat. So before I end it, please make sure y'all go and register for the other ones if you have not already. Shout out to everybody, y'all.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this, and to many more.